Hello guys and welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm very pleased to say that I have another topic for you guys, and for the guys that have been following, I can actually see nowadays that my subscriber number has actually shot up in a couple of days. To this day, my subscriber count is actually 26, which I'm very happy with, and I can of course see that the views are going up. Obviously not that much, because maybe the topic of gang stalking maybe is not that interesting to a lot of people or whatever, because it's not so mainstream or whatever. But for all of you guys who are watching this channel and helping and contributing to increasing the algorithm and contributing to putting likes and comments and subscribing and making it a little bit more mainstream, thank you guys, very much appreciated. So what is the topic that I'm going to talk about today? Basically, I decided to make a video about a very interesting topic. It's called gang stalking and the dangers of people pleasing. Right. So, why is it dangerous to be a people pleaser? This is a very interesting topic, and I think it relates a lot to gang stalking. I think that if you are a targeted individual and you're dealing with gang stalking, I think if you have a weakness in your personality, and if you're some kind of pushover or people pleaser, I think you're going to suffer a lot more in the gang stalking. And I think that you're going to attract a lot of these gang stalker / bully / abuser types who are going to try very, very hard to abuse you and to make your life as toxic as humanly possible. And of course, the reason for that is that these types of toxic people, like narcissists and psychopaths, but also all the different types of abusers and manipulators and such, they are attracted to weak people with weak personalities. And I think the reason is pretty obvious, because they are easy prey. Because these people want to abuse people, and of course they're going to chase after. Think of it this way: if you're a lion that lives in the savannah, and you are given an option between a healthy gazelle that is able to run away from you at like the speed of, I don't know, 50 kilometers an hour, and between a gazelle that is really, really injured, is limping, and is barely able to walk away from you, I think that as a lion, you're probably going to choose the weak, injured gazelle, just because it's a low-hanging fruit, and you get to eat the meat very quickly with zero effort. That's basically how it functions as far as abusers are concerned when it comes to people pleasers. Now, it goes without saying that abusers and bullies and these types of toxic and narcissistic individuals are not people pleasers. They do not have people-pleasing tendencies, precisely because they are so grandiose and have such an egocentric and, like I said, grandiose view of themselves. They would never be a pushover. They would never let people shit all over them and that kind of stuff. So basically, yeah, this is a message to all the people who are people pleasers and who are also dealing with gang stalking. I think you are in severe danger. I think you would be surprised by how far these types of people be willing to push your boundaries if you let them. And of course, it's very important to talk about the concept of boundaries and why it's important to have boundaries, but also to set boundaries and protect those boundaries. So I'm just going to give you an example of my daily life. So how I tend to handle these things. Because I am not a people pleaser. I am not a toxic person. I am not an abuser. I don't go around abusing people. I don't harm people. I don't do any of this manipulative things. But I am also not a people pleaser. I don't allow people to abuse me, or I don't put up with abuse. I don't put up with negativity. I don't put up with any of this toxic nonsense. So I'm going to give you an example. Like just literally 30 minutes ago, I was walking down this local bridge, which is right next to where I live, and there was this older man in an orange jacket who was walking in front of me. As soon as I passed by him because I usually walk very fast. I passed right in front of him. He started mumbling some shit to me, something that sounded like negative, like it was like he's cursing at me or criticizing me, something like that. I try to ignore it, but as I'm passing down the bridge, I look back at him and he's still mumbling some shit, and then I could hear him, cursing at me. He's like, bitch, you fucking bitch, ha 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 ha, you fucking faggot, ha 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 ha, cunt, I don't know what, this and that, kind of sort of like that, and laughing and being like very, very like, ha ha ha, very like sarcastic. And he thought he was having a moment right there. And obviously, what a people pleaser would do in that moment would be to allow this kind of behavior and move on and just deal with the pain of that moment and just whatever. Of course, I didn't. I didn't let it slide. I turned right back at him and I faced him. I was actually starting to walk backwards towards him, and I looked him in the eyes and said, hey, you got a problem? You got a fucking problem? And he looks at me, and like I told you guys in one of my previous videos, that these gang stalkers, a lot of them are actually terrified of us. They're cowards. They're afraid of us, much more than you think. I mean, they try to act tough, but they're actually really afraid. Then he started melting, started acting like a pussy. And he was like, no, I didn't say nothing, I didn't say nothing to you. Bitch, literally 5 seconds ago, you're cursing at me and calling me a faggot and calling me a bitch and a cunt and all these things and laughing at me. And now when I face you and I confront you, you go like, no, I didn't say nothing, sir. Nothing. And then he just tries to play it off cool and all that. And then as I'm like walking away, he curses at me another time and he goes like, faggot. And then as I'm walking away, I look back at him and say, I shouted at him, I was like, you are the fucking faggot. I was like, fuck you, you fucking faggot. And that's kind of how you handle these situations, is you got to set boundaries and you got to protect those boundaries. This guy, as annoying as this interaction is, but it is a necessity in life. This is sending a message to this person. If you're thinking about doing something worse, trying to violate my boundaries further, it's not going to work because I'm not going to let you. So next time he's going to think twice. Oh, this guy, he's actually going to stand up for himself. That kind of thing. So this is why it's really important to not be a people pleaser and to protect your boundaries. To not be a people pleaser and to protect your boundaries, and why it can be quite dangerous actually if you don't. Because these types of abusive, toxic, manipulative, whatever, narcissistic people, when they see you not defending yourself, not standing up for yourself, not protecting your boundaries, being a people pleaser, they're going to walk all over you. They're going to walk all over you. They're going to take down their pants and they're going to shit in your face, literally. So this is how these types of people think. The more I can get away with, the more I will get away with. Do you get what I'm saying? It's kind of like with a criminal, right? If let's say there's a lot of thieves out there, right, that like to go and steal electronics from a store. If for some reason the government decided, we're going to take away all the security in all the electronics stores, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? All the thieves are going to be targeting those stores. Oh my God, like the number of criminal activity in those electronic stores is going to soar up to the fucking sky, and every electronic stuff and devices is going to get stolen in a millisecond. They're going to do whatever they can get away with. They're going to be like, oh my God, these fucking morons, they have no fucking security, man. They're not doing a jack fucking shit to protect themselves. You know, guys, you have to understand something. It's already an uphill battle because these abusive abusers, bullies, toxic, narcissistic people, they're already willing to take a chance, even when there is protection, even when there is resistance against them, even when the individual is able to resist or willing to resist or willing to put up protection, willing to set their boundaries, willing to do something to protect themselves, to stand up for themselves. They are still tempted to abuse and attack people, even when that is the case. So imagine if there is no protection. Imagine if there is no security. Imagine if there is, like the example that I gave, no cameras, no CCTV, no protection, no security guards, no protection of the boundaries, nothing. What do you think is going to happen then? Oh man, they're going to have a field fucking day, man. They're going to go, woo, they're going to really, really go for it. So guys, this is why it's really important not to be a people pleaser and why it is very dangerous in gangstalking. And you would be surprised by the type of things, the negative things that these people would be willing to do to you if you were not willing to stand up for yourself and you allow them to just push you around and walk all over you. Now, that being said, I can give you some example. For example, I once met this. I once met this prostitute, right? And I was talking to her, and we just got like talking and discussing things. And she was telling me about, because I was trying to discover what her life was like and that kind of stuff, because you don't usually hear the perspective of prostitutes. And she was like, I do actually sleep with a lot of men who are married. She was like saying that there's a lot of married men that come and use her services. And apparently the major problem is that a lot of these men are being cheated on by their wives, and that the men don't have the balls to stand up for themselves, with these abusive and toxic women who are cheating on them because they're weak. And I was looking at her and said, if that was me and my wife was cheating on me, I would just, I would get rid of her. I would just stand up for myself and divorce her. End of story. And she just looked at me and she responded and she said, yeah, because they're weak. A lot of these people are weak. They can't do it. They can't stand up for themselves. They can't, that's when you know that you're a people pleaser. When you're willing to put up with some really, really shitty, toxic, negative, unfair behavior for no obvious reason. Things that you would not normally be putting. And of course, like I always say, it is not the bad things that people have done to you which are the most humiliating. What is more humiliating is the things that you yourself have allowed others to do to you. Because if somebody does to you something negative, which is humiliating, in a situation where you had no choice, no control, no ability to walk away or stand up for yourself, then that's one thing. That's bad, but that's one thing. But the times when you could actually stand up for yourself and all of this was in your hands and you're pretty much just doing it to yourself by allowing it to happen, that is even more humiliating. That really reeks of low self-worth, low self-esteem, and low self-respect, because you're allowing this to happen. You're in a relationship with a woman, she cheated on you with other men. There is no reason whatsoever why you should be in a relationship with this woman. You should divorce her, like now. So yeah, guys, that was actually a really interesting story that I heard. But on this topic of, of people pleasing, it can actually be very dangerous in gang stalking. Not so much, not so much with the daily harassment of the foot soldiers of the gang stalkers. Obviously, that is quite negative. That is bad. You don't want to deal with that. But that's probably not the most dangerous aspect. I think if you're being gang stalked and you target an individual and you have people pleasing tendencies, I think the biggest danger is the people that you associate with closely, the people that you allow into your life, that into your relationships. Whether you're a man and you're in a relationship with a woman, or a woman who is with a relationship with a man, whatever the case may be, that can actually be very, very dangerous, because once you allow these abusive, toxic, manipulative, perpetrator type people into your life, it's kind of like, barbarians at the gate sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you've opened the gates for all these horrible people that are going to come into your city, and they're going to wreck everything. They're just going to ravage everything and take everything and burn everything to the ground. And that's something obviously you wouldn't want to do. You would want to have sentinels. You would want to have guards who are on the city walls, who are looking out for any signs of danger. Your gates should be closed. You should have your mutt and bailey prepared, and that sort of thing. Oh, God. Yeah, excuse me, guys. This is a very medieval sort of example, but I like the medieval times. I have a lot of interest in that. I don't know if you guys ever played a game called Medieval 2 Total War. It's a beautiful game. You guys should check it out. I don't play games anymore. I used to when I was younger. I haven't played video games in like 10 years or something. So it's been a while. But yeah, I used to like that game when I used to play. Anyway, off topic. So back to the topic. Being a people pleaser, very, very dangerous in gang stalking. It can get you killed, because if some of these gang stalkers decide, hey, you know what, this guy's a weakling, or this girl is a weakling, and they're weak. They can't fight. They can't, stand up for themselves. They can't push back or whatever. They're just gonna be like, whatever, we can do anything. We could kill this person and get away with it. So yeah, I'm not trying to scare any people, but you have to be careful. Being a people pleaser in gang stalking is very, very dangerous. It can get you targeted even more, and it can get you placed, because there is a difference between being in this gang stalking sort of program and living this kind of gang stalking reality. When you have a strong personality, that's one thing. The arrows, we're going to go back to the medieval times. The arrows are being shot at you, but you're a strong warrior. You know what I mean? You're riding your horse, you got your shield, your armor, you're very resistant. You're not going to let that fucking shit bring you down. But if you're a weak warrior and, arrows are being shot at you from every angle in such a chaotic battle, and you have no armor, and you're inexperienced, and you're excuse me, but you're a wimp, oh yeah, you're gonna get it. That would be terrifying, right? That would be really, really horrible, right? Anyway, I talked enough about this. I don't want to ramble about it. I think it's pretty clear what it is. I don't want to go too much detail. There's tons of videos about people pleaser syndrome, what it is, what are the signs, how do you know that you have a weak personality and that you're people pleaser. Guys, I think it's very simple. To know that you have people pleaser syndrome, that you're a people pleaser, it's very simple. Do you get disrespected? This is the $1 million question. Do you get disrespected by the people in your life and let it slide and keep talking to these people? So my question is this: when people disrespect you, or abuse you, or do something toxic, or violate your rights, what do you do? Do you just let it slide and keep talking to these people like nothing happened? Or do you stand up for yourself and try to cut them loose, or cut them off, or get rid of them, or something like that? Because I'm the type of person, I don't usually let this kind of shit slide. If somebody abuses me or tries to curse at me, or say some nasty, rude things or whatever, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to block you I'm never going to talk to you again. I'm going to just block you, and we're never going to talk. I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to let you know, most of the times, I'm going to let you know, I'm going to stand up for yourself. I'm going to let you know I am not happy with the shit that you've done, and fuck you for saying those things. And then I'm going to block you and be like, don't ever talk to me again. But yeah, that's the $1 million question. Do you allow people to disrespect you? Do you put up with disrespect? Do you foster relationships with people who are toxic towards you? That kind of thing, because that's something you see a lot of times with people pleasers. They're always ruminating and they're always coming up with their bullshit excuses of why they should put up with these people. You know, like if a man is being abused and berated by his wife, he might think, oh, you know what? She's not that bad. Well, maybe I deserved it. Maybe I did something that was not good. If you're thinking like this, then you're a people pleaser. If you're acting like this, you're a people pleaser. And you better watch out. There's things you can do to work on your personality. You can become stronger, but you have to have the courage to start fending for yourself. You have to have the courage to start standing up for yourself. That's something nobody's gonna do for you. You have to do it yourself. Anyway, guys, hope you guys learned something new, something useful, and as always, I'll see you again. If you like my channel and my content, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.